Let's talk about this. So your absence does a few things to them. The first thing is that they meet their shadow. A lot of the times we use relationship to suppress our shadow impulses, our darkness, our sadness, our depression. Our negative self-talk is suppressed when we get validation from the opposite sex. And that suppression causes us to take on the identity of our ego, and we take the person who's validating us for granted. To even things out, you just have to have momentary absences. Moments that allows them to meet their shadow once again and not be able to suppress it. And they'll conclude that the reason they feel so down, the reason they feel so sad is because you're not there. And that's literally why they appreciate you. Because they see how much dependent they are on you, not through your presence, but through your absence, right? So by you giving them space, they see that they ain't shit without you, because people forget. When you validate people, they forget where they came from. People forget how unhappy they were before you. Why? Because validation causes grandiosity, meaning undeserved confidence based on something you didn't work on. So whenever you think that people like you because you have the magic touch, you will assume that it'll happen again. But what people don't realize is that the affection that we show people, unconditional love by someone, is a rare thing. But once you have it, you think it's not rare. That's the thing. And it's something that I don't think we can change that, because that's just human nature. That's part of humans, to take things for granted. And once they think they have something, they think it's out there in abundance and that they could replicate it. But they don't realize how unique situations are. And so you have to let them realize how unique this situation is by giving them momentary absences. Now, I'm not asking you guys to go to the fucking grocery store for milk and not come back. I'm just asking that you guys have a life. Have a life, and don't spend all of your time with them. Too many of you guys get in the habit of getting the needy, creepy habit of always being there. Allow them to experience their shadow. Allow them to experience the negative thoughts that most people have when they don't get validated by the opposite sex. Allow them to feel the emptiness. And you'll notice that sometimes it's funny. People think, oh, I gave them space and they're partying. Well, guess what? A lot of the times when we feel empty, when we experience the shadow, the emptiness, some of us cope badly. And you know what? That's a red flag in my book. If they don't know how to cope with your absence, I prefer you find somebody else. You want someone who, in your absence, they don't go party, they don't do crack, they don't start drinking, but rather they cry, they do healthy things, they do non-drug things. Because the truth is, bad coping mechanism, a lot of times are people, if you have a bad coping mechanism, it really makes your ego very sensitive. And it kind of does predict more problems in the future. Because when people don't know how to cope with your absence, they usually gravitate towards other people. Now, when I mean absence, I mean when you don't validate them, because your presence validates them. And some people would just try to get, for example, guys would try to get a girl, would try to find a girl to replace. Other women would try to get you jealous. And that's the problem, is that too many people are overly reliant on the validation of the opposite sex, and that's why a lot of them become cheaters, right? And when you are a crackhead for validation from the opposite sex, when your partner doesn't validate you, you gravitate towards other people to validate you. And that's why you, honestly, the good thing about this absence is that it reveals their coping mechanism. Some people might start to insult you, call you fat, call you ugly, you a loser, you got a small dick, whatever the hell they want to say. And you want to judge them. Because those who leave you in peace, those who don't attack you, are the right ones for you. And that's why absence, some people in your absence, they'll try to control you. That's a red flag. Sometimes in your absence, they'll insult you. That's a red flag, right? Sometimes in your absence, They try to make you jealous. Nothing wrong with that. It truly does depend. But you want to observe that behavior, because in your absence is when you really get to see their character. Why? Because they get confronted with their uncontrollable emotions. And once that when the pressure goes up, you want to pay very deep attention to them, because it's going to tell you everything you need to know about them. All right. Now, if you guys want to learn more about this, check out my course, Psychological Game of Attraction and Natural Chemistry. One is for people who are single, Psychological Game of Attraction, and one is for people who are in relationships. It'll teach you the game of absence, but from a relationship point of view and from a single point of view. You can purchase it by just click on the description down below. They're $99 each, and they come with bonuses, so you can purchase the basic one or the one with the bonuses. You can do that now, or else I'm closing the channel. Take care.